Okay, I'm going to give a short overview of your outline of community report. Notice that it's due April the 16th, but I'm going to keep it open till April the 23rd. What you need to do is first and foremost, you need to go to your assignments and then go this will also be in your module also, so you can find it. But the community report, these are the directions for your community report. And when I ask for your outline, you need to follow these bullet points to a T. So notice I'm going to be copying and pasting these bullet points into your guidelines. But if you look at it, first you have to decide what drug are you going to focus in on for your report. You have to give a history of the drug. So for example, opiate, narcotics, the history goes all the way back to China and Great Britain, and it's been a long time that opiates have been around. You're going to talk about what the use and abuse and misuse trends are within Kern County. So you can also use local and state data, but I want you to tell me how this drug is impacting our community. And then I want you to talk about how it's also impacting people, like their resources, have their physical effects. And then finally, I want you to end with the resources. Where can someone go to get help to get off of this drug? So whether it's nicotine, whether it's opiates, whether it's caffeine, whether it's meth, hallucinogens, where can they go? And I will give you a hint that if at the very end of this whole entire semester, in week 15, and I'll go ahead and open it up actually week 14, I'm going to have treatment and prevention in there. And I would go ahead and look at those and also look in your book to get ideas, but I will be covering that. You can get a total of 105 points. And this is the rubric. You should pay attention to this rubric. Again, using those headings, I'll be first looking at, did you select the drug? And did you describe it? Did you give a history of the drug? That's 20 points. Did you give a description of abuse and misuse trends in Kern County or in the state? Did you give the impact of a drug, how it affects people individually, public health as a whole? Did you give resources talking about where someone can get help? And then finally, did you use an APA format? I went ahead and gave you guidelines on how to do the APA format in the directions itself. See, that's an APA format. But you can also go to APA style and you can see a whole paper and how it's set up. I will be giving weekly support sessions on this and also opening it up to a Q&A at one point. So I want to make sure that you start to do an outline of this. So going back to the assignments and going back to the outline, when I say post an outline, what I mean by that is that you will respond in the assignment itself, and it's worth 5 points. You're going to decide and tell me what your outline is. And when I say watch the short video, you're watching it right now, you're going to use these headers, right? You're going to use these headers to help you focus in on each area. So the history, the description of use and abuse and misuse. See how I'm doing these headers? You're going to talk in your paper, you will use these headers. This way you know you're hitting everything that needs to be, that you're going to be graded on. So I want to make sure that you do that, okay? So these are your headers. And then obviously you're watching the video right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I would also like you to pose questions when you respond. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do a hypothetical here. Let's say I decided to focus in on the drug meth. I describe the chemical, and I'm going to put the word describe in front of here because I want to make sure you describe the chemical and psychotherapeutic benefits of the selected drug. So meth does have a benefit, not the illicit drug meth, but the amphetamines, the stimulants. There is a use for them. And then I'm going to put both illicit and licit use. So I want to make sure that you hit on those. So maybe it has an actual legal use. You can mention that. You're going to talk about the history of amphetamines. So they were first used in World War II, or they were discovered by a German scientist. You're going to talk about the abuse, misuse within Kern County of meth. Okay, this is the hypothetical example. Of course, you could pick any drug that we've covered during this whole semester. You're going to talk about the impact of, let's say, meth on community wellness and what's happened and how it physically affects people. So you're going to start off, you could do individual, and then as a community as a whole, what happens. And then you're going to describe where someone can get help, to get resources to get off. This will be actually worth 5 points in your community report. So what you're going to do is you will respond to this post with a very, very short outline. And then you're going to also pose any questions you might have. It's going to be due April 16th, but I'm going to keep it open to April 23rd. So I would go ahead and get your head wrapped around this and start thinking about this. Okay, that's it. Any questions, make sure to Canvas message me.